The hidden connection between worship and the universe, a divine journey. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in just one night crossed the stars, planets, and galaxies, ascending from the earth to the heavens. Now, in the Quran, Allah Almighty says that everything between the heavens and the earth bows down in prostration to Him. This means that all the stars, galaxies, mountains, planets, and trees are worshipping Allah. But how is that possible? We know prostration is the act of placing one forehead on the ground. Have you ever seen stars or planets doing that? Yet Allah repeats in the Quran that all of these creation worshipping Him. So what kind of worship do they perform? There must be something common among them, something that connects every creation in the universe. Many centuries ago, people believed the earth was the center of the universe. About 400 years ago, a great Italian scientist named Galileo changed that belief forever.
Galileo Galilei was born on 15 February 1564. Mr. Galilei was an Italian mathematician, physicist, astronomer, and natural philosopher.
He aligned two simple lenses together and discovered that this could make distant things appear close. Before him, small telescopes existed, but they were only used in war and sea navigation. Galileo, however, turned his improved telescope toward the sky. For the first time in human history, he looked closely at the sun, the moon, and the planets. He began observing their movements, and what he saw changed everything. Galileo observed that Jupiter, the largest planet, was not stationary. It was round, and the light patterns on it changed throughout the month. He noticed the same with Venus and Saturn. Their brightness shifted because they were revolving around the sun. This could only mean one thing: these planets were not orbiting the earth, they were orbiting the sun. Galileo boldly announced that the universe does not revolve around earth, the earth revolves around the sun. But this truth made the European churches furious. At that time, even the Pope believed earth was the center of the universe. As punishment, Galileo was locked in his house for life. Yet he continued his research in silence. Centuries later, 350 years later after his death, even the Pope publicly apologized, admitting Galileo was right and the Church had been wrong. Over time, humanity learned that the earth orbits the sun and that the sun itself is not even that big. It's just one of billion of stars within a massive galaxy known as the Milky Way. And all those billions of stars orbit something too, a supermassive black hole.
Supermassive black hole.
Have a supermassive black hole at their center.
At the center of our galaxy, a force about 4 million times larger than our sun, keeping the entire galaxy spinning in perfect order. But even our galaxy is not alone. Millions of galaxies come together to form clusters, and millions of clusters form super clusters. And beyond them, countless others continues to exist beyond imagination. So what is the one thing all these have in common? Every single object, every planet, every star, every galaxy is revolving around something else. Everything is in the universe moves in a circle in constant orbit. When Hazrat Muhammad ﷺ ascended to the heavens, he reached a divine place called Baitul Ma'mur, where he saw angels not praying in rows but revolving around it just as we do around the Kaaba. Now think, what is the connection between orbiting and worshipping? Allah says everything in the universe worships Him, but perhaps their worship is in their motion, their obedience to His perfect system. In Surah Al-Hajj, verse 18, Allah says that all things in the heavens and the earth, the sun, moon, stars, mountains, trees, and animals all bow down to Him.
ألم تر أن الله
يسجد له من في السماوات ومن في الأرض والشمس والقمر والنجوم والجبال والشجر والدواب وكثير حق عليه العذاب ومن يهن الله فما له من مكرم إن الله يفعل ما يشاء.
During Hajj, Muslims from all over the world come to Mecca, the holiest place on earth, and circled around the Kaaba. When a Muslim performs Tawaf circling the Kaaba, he is not alone. At that time, he joins in the same rhythm as the moons, the planets, the stars, the galaxies, and even the angels, all moving in circles, all glorifying the same Creator. They do not worship Allah like we do. We worship Allah like they do. Their circling is their worship, their obedience to Allah's laws of motion, their way of glorifying the Creator of all worlds. Allah did not mention only stars and planets. He said everything worship Him, even mountains, trees, and animals. Now scientists have discovered something even more astonishing. Thousands of years ago, Greek philosophers proposed that everything is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Modern research later revealed that atoms are not the smallest unit. Inside them are protons, neutrons, and electrons. And what do electrons do? They revolve around the nucleus just as planets revolve around the sun, and stars revolve around black holes. From the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, everything moves in a circle, everything performs Tawaf. So, when a Muslim goes to Mecca and circles the Kaaba, he becomes part of the universal worship, joining the electrons, the planets, the stars, and the angel at Baitul Ma'mur, all glorifying Allah in perfect harmony. Perhaps that's why Tawaf, the act of circling the Kaaba, is considered one of the greatest acts of worship in Islam. When Allah said in Surah Al-Hajj that everything worships Him, it did not mean they all bow like us. It means they follow His divine system, their motion and their submission, their orbit is their obedience, and when their appointed times comes, just like every creation in the universe, their circle will also come to an end.
إذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت.
Subscribe.